How's it going, viewers? This is yours truly, Cal Nitro Gamer, and today we are going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm here today with Noah and my sister, Chantal, and we're going to be talking about it. Yeah. Well,
yeah, of course there are going to be spoilers here, so
yes, go watch it now, because we're going to be talking about No Way Home, and we're going to be serious about it.
Yeah.
Okay, now leading up to No Way Home, basically we go throughout the story, we stop at a point, and then we talk about like how well it was done and the characters inside of it, you know.
Huh?
I've also got to mention the way that we got in. Like we were rushing towards the doors. I was running on my crutches, and yeah, we had to get in really quickly because we didn't know how much of the movie we were gonna miss. For all we could have known, like 10 minutes could have passed. So we got in. And then, like, literally 10 seconds after we got inside the cinema, like, the doors behind us closed. And they were not even far from us. It was, like, after 10 seconds afterwards. And then it got really dark. And then you had, like, tense music playing. And we were like, oh, we have to find a seat now.
Yeah, we literally just stood there awkwardly for about a minute.
You know, because of, like, the whole situation, in quotation marks, I didn't know if we were going to be able to watch it, but luckily for us, we were lucky, and we got to go in.
Yep.
Mainly because of our age and stuff. So,
yeah. The movie had literally just started, and the whole cinema just went dark. And so we couldn't see where our seats were. So we literally just kind of had to assume where our seats were.
Because, like, parents would usually do it for us, right?
Yeah, normally I go with my parents.
Yeah, but then, like, we had to find it for ourselves.
But from that, the movie was quite fast-paced. It literally just picks up from the movie Far From Home.
Yeah.
Where Mysterio reveals the identity of Spider-Man.
Yeah, by the way, Calvin was watching Far From Home, and he said, "Oh no, I should get this out of the way because of spoilers." Even though we just watched like a ginormous spoiler like 2 weeks ago.
I knew as soon as I saw him. I'm like, "Oh, Mysterio is pretending to be a good guy." And I feel like we have way too many villains that are literally just annoyed at Tony Stark.
The world building, right? It's always cool to connect, you know, villains to other parts of the world.
Yeah.
But you know, like it was done a bit. It was like done 2 times in a row to the point where it was a bit weird.
They basically, I think that was a good opening. It literally cuts to the chase.
It was really quick too. It was really quick.
It just had a lot of action going on right from the beginning, which I liked.
Yeah, they could have explored you know, Peter Parker having struggles because of the identity thing a bit more. You know, because so much can go wrong. And you know what I think? I heard from somewhere this film was meant to be like around 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen because of like COVID and stuff, so.
It would have been cool though. I would have liked to watch it for 3 hours.
I think it could have used at least like 10 more minutes, like the whole movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like 10 more minutes, please. The thing with No Way Home for me is that like it's great, but they could just like touch up a few things here and there to make it even better.
I know.
And it would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so opening starts up. It's very tense. It's also fun. You want to take it from here, Noah?
Yeah, I guess. We see Matt Murdock as well.
They could have had
like,
a court scene.
Nothing too special happened.
They could have had a court scene. You know, like a court scene where Peter Parker's like in a court and then Matt Murdock's like, okay, this kid is innocent. Trust me. I'm a really good lawyer. Or something. And then,
that would have been cool.
Yeah. I also really like the scene where Ned, MJ, Peter, where they were all opening up you know,
their envelopes,
MIT envelopes. You know, because they want to go to college. I thought that was sweet.
I guess. Or I was just gonna add on to like the envelope scene. We basically have seen them kind of grow up. Like, well, not grow up, but pretty much just young teenagers.
Do you think Ned and MJ's characters are kind of like useless, or do you think they're fine? You know, or do you think they're really great?
I think they're pretty good. Of course, everyone loves Zendaya, because they do. I mean, I don't know. Everyone I talk to, they're always like, "Oh, Zendaya is the best."
She's so
I'm like, yeah, she's a pretty good actress.
Is she hypnotizing people or something?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I like it, but it's a bit weird
But,
how people.
Stay tuned to find out.
Ned's pretty funny.
Yeah.
MJ has her cool lines.
Like
yeah.
I heard a few opinions that they kind of it kind of doesn't make sense that they would come along with Spider-Man. You know, like Spider-Man would like call them to help him because they're just like low-level civilians. But at the same time, this movie is about Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, being you know, trying to grow past his friends, like not in a bad way, but to kind of like let them be on his own, and then realize that he'll have to move on with his own strength. You know, it's not saying it's wrong for him to have friends.
Yeah, he's like risked like his friends' lives.
Yeah,
like just because of them, and
yeah.
If they've risked their lives because of Spider-Man, is what I'm trying to say. Peter Parker. We see that he like tries to protect them, so he just kind of doesn't talk to them. But well, yeah, like I said, we'll get onto that later. Yeah,
the mirror fight was really cool. I thought Doctor Strange was a little bit too how do you put it? Irresponsible with his powers, you know.
I can't speak. I still can't believe that like Doctor Strange actually like he agreed to Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
The magic.
Yeah, like when I saw that scene in the trailer, like where you know the multiverse started coming in and the spell broke, you know, like I heard like a lot of stuff from people saying that Peter came across a bit too annoying in the trailer.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, while I kind of see where they're coming from, I didn't fully agree with that. But in the movie, they make it stretch on for like longer. Like he brings up like six names, like 6, 7 names. Yeah. Like it.
All right, there's been
now that's crossing the line. That's making him seem a bit too dumb. You know, like the trailer made him seem flawed, right? But the movie kind of made him out to be a bit dumb.
In some ways, I can agree with that. I would say he's not the smartest Spider-Man out there. If I were to pick the smartest one, it'd probably be like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's probably the most naive out of the bunch.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's talk about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Why not? Oh yeah. And they didn't take I think they balanced. One of the things I was really concerned about is that they would kind of take spotlight off of Tom Holland's story and his struggle.
But they didn't.
Okay, they didn't. Like they managed to. One of the best strengths of this movie is it manages to balance like all these big ideas well enough, you know? Like, it's still powerful, like, what Peter learns at the end. You know, we still see him grow, and, you know, like, weight isn't exactly taken off of him, if anything, they kind of encourage him to take on more weight, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say he's the best in this film.
Okay. Well, he seems a bit too dumb.
Yeah.
While he seems a bit too dumb at some points, at the same time, it does give him, you know, the arc that, you know, fans have desperately been clamoring for. You know, like where they want him to be a bit more independent, if that makes sense. I didn't mind him looking up to Iron Man in Homecoming. I didn't mind that as like a start, because like naturally, like in writing, sometimes it's a very good idea to start characters off at their weakest point, so that have like a lot of room to grow. You know, Tom Holland even mentioned this. I guess in Far From Home, he felt a bit dragged around, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in choices he made for himself, they kind of felt like that was obvious anyway.
He didn't have that many consequences during his decisions.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true, apart from maybe like the end part. But yeah.
Yeah, like
even then, yeah.
I can agree. With Far From Home, it's funny, like with No Way Home, I think I like it more than Homecoming, but I have less flaws with Homecoming than I have with No Way Home. It's kind of weird, because like there are all these plot holes with No Way Home, and like I love the movie, but it's just so distracting. It's like, oh, they could have fixed this, they could have done that, they could have added the music, some more music to it. It would have been so easy. Why didn't you just do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, other than that, it was an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Definitely my favorite Spider-Man film.
Yeah. In Homecoming, the only flaw I have with it, they kind of pull back their punches when it comes to punishing Peter.
Yeah, basically, kind of what I was talking about. He didn't have many consequences for like his actions.
Although he misses out on cool stuff. He won't spend time with his friends as much. You know, while they could have went a bit further with it, it's not all that big of a deal. I still enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
I still enjoy this take on this.
We need to
Spider-Man.
like remember that like there's no such thing as a perfect movie. I mean, yeah, obviously you can say a movie's perfect, but every movie has its flaws.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe you if you said there was a movie that didn't have any like weaknesses or flaws.
All that matters is that this movie kind of hit where it counts, you know? Because
it did.
What are the main focuses of the movie? Probably one, develop Peter Parker's character, test him, refine him, right? Make him turn into the independent Spider-Man that we want him to be, like out of the shadow of, you know, larger MCU heroes.
Yeah, he's definitely come a long way.
Maybe what they were going for, it really seems that they're aware of like fan complaints. They really delivered in answering many of those. But like at the same time, you know how like Peter was being a bit annoying with the spell, you know? Like he just went overboard with it. Like if he's like, oh my gosh, Ned, MJ, oh no, it's Aunt May, you gotta, Aunt May. You know what? If he just mentions those three, I get it. You know, I can forgive that. At the end of the day, I know he has attachments to those people. But then he brings up people like, I don't know. Then he brings up more people like Happy and, you know, other people as well.
I actually kind of found it funny in a way. It almost felt like a gag. When I know it's not supposed to be one, but it honestly kind of felt like.
Yeah. You know, it's. Your microphone is bugging out a bit.
Let me just try.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. If they just like cut some of the names that he mentions, like when he's asking for people to remember him, and if they kind of like cut out the part where they kind of highlight that Peter Parker didn't appeal the colleges, that could have been easily done. You know, cut out those two things. That would have gotten rid of like a lot of the problems I have with this movie. You know, how Peter's life is destroyed in this way, like their ambitions are destroyed. I get that, like, on a superhero level, it's not the biggest deal, but at the end of the day, like, Peter Parker is, like, an everyman character, and, like, he had this dream of his friends. Some people are complaining that, you know, it's not enough for Peter to be distraught over the MIT, but at the same time, like, they're teenagers, and it's kind of destroying their futures. Because if you're not a superhero, then that's kind of like the highest height you can reach towards, if that makes sense, you know? You know, it might not just be college they can be blocked from. Maybe it's like from jobs in the future, you know? I guess it can, in a way, destroy their lives in that sense, you know? Because they're not superheroes, they're just every people, you know? So I can get behind that motivation alone.
I guess the whole Doc Ock scene that we saw, that was cool.
Yeah, that was good too. I thought the action in that scene was very visceral too.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about it? Yeah. Whoa. Well, he actually looks like a soldier.